Yo, what's going on, guys? You're watching Epic Pokemon TCG. What I got for you today, guys, is going to be another gameplay. And I'm actually going to fix my mic right here. Hopefully that's not picking up. If it is, that's a little embarrassing. But anyway, guys, today I'm going to be piloting this random Zoroark Garbodor deck that I just threw together. And I'm actually going to be facing off against a Gardevoir Sylveon deck. So, yeah, been trying to get some more gameplays for you guys since the format has rotated officially on Pokemon TCG Online. It is nice to get on there and actually play games and not have to worry about people opening Bridget and all this nonsense when I'm over there with these extremely slow next format starts and all that. So the cool thing is, like, I get to test these decks. I get to play, the new format, figure out, what decks are kind of out there and all that. So it's been pretty fun. And this is one of the decks that I was actually thinking about the other day at League when I brought my Buzzwole deck up there. And, there was a couple Malamar and I really couldn't play. So I just kind of hung out and talk to everyone. So I was like, you know what, I need to sit here and kind of think about some new decks that I can play and bring up to my league, since obviously, the Buzzwole isn't going to be a good idea. And this was actually a deck that I was thinking about, and it's because I've been seeing people posting deck lists online that feature Drampa in their deck. And now that I think about it, Drampa could actually be a very strong card going forward into this format. It's a colorless attacker that's first attack for 1 energy, can not only soften Pokemon up, but it can get rid of special energy. And then if I throw Enhanced Hammer in my deck along with that, I got a pretty decent amount of disruption. So I just kind of decided to play a deck that features, well, the most popular card really in the format right now in Zoroark. I guess attacker, I should say. But I also paired it up with Garbodor. That could be a really nice late game hitter. And I figured Garbodor would be pretty solid next format, or this format, whatever I'm trying to say. So it's kind of the idea there. And I just threw in Buzzwole because I just like Buzzwole. Baby Buzzwole, just Rainbow is huge right now. Rainbow is so popular, and I think that it's just really cool to have like kind of like a techie sort of deck. You get to play Rainbow Energy, you get to play different attackers and everything, so it's really nice. So kind of the idea around this deck. But basically, this game was just kind of us hitting each other back and forth, and I was hitting some clutch cards at clutch times and everything, and it actually turned out to be a really good game. Anytime I face off against Gardevoir decks, I do get nervous because I played it for a little bit and I know how much damage that thing can dish out. But as we can see right now on the field, guys, Sylveon is about to smack my Zoroark, and that is going to leave me in a very difficult position. I'm pretty much going to have to return the KO, but I'm also setting up myself for a pretty much a KO for my opponent. So that's going to put us at 4-4 prizes. I hope I didn't screw my sentence up just then, but basically I can take the knockout right here, right now. But, Gardevoir is just going to come up and pretty much smack me and take me out. And I'm going to go ahead and Field Blower, get rid of that Choice Band right now because I don't want to deal with that. And the thing about Tate and Lisa, I love the card. But online, I haven't done this yet, I don't think. I probably have. I don't know. I'm probably lying to you guys. But whenever it pops up the text and it says, which effect you want to do, I always get so nervous because I'm afraid that I'm going to hit the switching effect. But here we go, guys. I am going to knock out this Sylveon here, and I'm going to go up 4-6, but the issue, like I said, is that my opponent is going to return with a Gardevoir. But the cool thing about this is looking at my hand, as long as, he doesn't judge me or something or throw down a random Marshadow or something like that, I can actually just come in with Buzzwole and soften that Gardevoir up. And that's really where I'm starting to realize that Buzzwole is a great attacker. So anytime I play a deck that does include Rainbow Energy, which is pretty much how it's going right now, anytime you do include a deck that has Rainbow Energy, you throw a Buzzwole in there, I'm going to play Buzzwole. I've actually switched up my Zoroark Bayonet deck to include a Buzzwole in there as well. I've been thinking about doing another deck profile on that, just kind of titling it something different. But I do have the Rainbow, and I also have 3 Choice Band, the Smack down there, so that's pretty nice. But I'm going to hang on to those. I think that'd probably be the best idea. I was really whiffing on Zoroarks this game. I was getting them at an extremely slow pace. I was just kind of getting them like here and there. So it's pretty fortunate that I was able to stay in the game as well as I was. But right here, I'm going to get rid of that Nest Ball. My field's pretty set up. I don't really need that anymore. At this point, that's just kind of an extra card. That's trade bait, basically. And so I'm going to hit that Gardevoir for 150 damage. Unfortunately, I did whiff on the Enhanced Hammer. That was a big thing I was kind of hoping to get with that Cynthia, just because it would also force him to attach another energy along with the DC being in the discard pile, which means I can just kind of bring up and knock it out with Zoroark, hopefully. So that was just kind of my idea behind that. But, Enhanced Hammer is going to be a big card next format. That's another reason why I think Drampa is going to be such a huge card. It's just because energy disruption is going to be huge, especially with how popular DCE and Rainbow Energy is right now. Also, I'm seeing Unit Energy has been getting some love. And he is, of course, going to knock out my poor Buzzwole, my poor baby. Don't worry, I will avenge you. I'll avenge you. It's happening. Zoroark is coming up, and he is going to help you pretty much get some revenge. Just return to KO here. But throughout this game, I tried to cut this out as much as I could. I checked discard piles a lot. I always check discard piles a lot online when I'm playing Garbodor. That's another issue I have. I say Gardevoir when I try to say Garbodor and vice versa. But when I try to play, or I do play Garbodor, excuse me, I always check discard piles. In real life, I'll just kind of set dice next to the discard pile, and I'll check it periodically to make sure the dice counts in there is still right. But right here, I'm going to go ahead and just search for this Judge. My opponent has way too many cards in his hand, and I just don't feel comfortable with him having that many. So I'm going to kind of disrupt him a little bit, set him down to 4. It's not like N, because if I were to play N, my opponent would be getting 3 right now, where I was going to be getting 4. But it's still not too bad. I feel like Judge could still be a great disruption supporter. It's very, very good in Zoroark because you don't really have to worry about setting yourself back to 4 because, of course, you do have Trade, and Trade can just kind of plow through your deck. But I am going to hit Gardevoir for 100 damage, taking it out, and I'm going to be going basically down 2 to 3 prize cards. So I'm kind of swinging the game back into my favor. And my field's pretty set up. My field's pretty good right now. My opponent does have a lot of trainers in the discard pile right now, so Garbodor, at the moment, is hitting for a decent amount of damage. But I'm just kind of holding on to it. I'm waiting so I can just take that big final KO and get that thing out of there, which is the position that I'm in right now. But my opponent is going to Cynthia for a fresh hand of 6. And now my opponent actually does a very, very awesome move, one that I am a huge fan of, and that is shuffle as many trainer cards as you can back into your deck and lower Garbodor's pretty much damage output. I've seen this actually done in the World Stream, and I thought that was just incredibly genius. That's something that, like, oddly enough, I've never thought of just because I haven't played with Gardevoir too much. And when he did that and I saw it coming, I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty smart because, honestly, Garbodor was hitting for, I think, a one-hit KO at that point. So definitely a very, very smart move on my opponent's part. I am a huge fan of that play. I think that is a excellent way to utilize a GX attack because not only are you getting resources back into your deck, but you're also, lowering damage output, which is really nice. So basically right here, right now, I'm putting my opponent in a position to where he needs to get that active Gardevoir out of the active spot, which he does, and then he's going to come up to a max potion. And the cool thing is going forward into the next turn, we'll be back to square one, basically, where he needs to really get this Gardevoir out of the active position. He really needs to make sure that I can't bring it up. He needs to heal it. He needs to do something. And, yeah. So that's pretty much where I kind of take the advantage there. But luckily, I actually do have an enhanced damage, so I can go ahead and take that DCE out. And right here, I unfortunately have to attach a Rainbow Energy and damage my Drampa even more just to get it out of the active spot, which I was not a huge fan of doing this whatsoever. But I got to get Drampa out of the active spot. That has to happen. And so right here, I'm going to go ahead and trade just to get some stuff out of my hand that I just don't need anymore. So I'm going to be discarding that Drampa, and I'm going to go ahead and just Righteous Beating there. And I was getting a little weary of my deck size at this point, so I wasn't trying to trade too much. But like I said, right here, right now, my opponent has to get this Gardevoir out of the active spot, or he has to heal it. I do have Guzma in hand for game, but unfortunately, my opponent is unable to do that. He's going to throw down a Choice Band, and this is pretty much where the game was over with. So he's going to hit me for 150, and I'm going to come back and hit him with the KO. But at first, always, I got to make sure to tell them, great game. They have a good deck, make them feel good about themselves. And there we go. So I'm going to Righteous Beating, and I'm going to take the victory. And yeah, there we go. So my random little deck that I just threw together worked out pretty well. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm going to have some more gameplays for you guys soon. I love you so much. And yeah, this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. Peace.